Good morning and welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Tracy Morgan. So nice to have you along today, just after 11 o'clock. As we always do, we kind of take this time and get away from the music and just sit and chat for 30 minutes. And with us for 30 minutes is Lisa Gard, of course, owner of Specialized Staffing right here in Butler. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, Tracy. How are you?
Oh, very good. And we've turned the calendar. I keep thinking it's like November 1st. You know, you blink and you're already through the month. And then, of course, we got December. And so it's just holiday season, basically. And I love to talk to you during this time of year because a lot of people are wanting some extra cash. And you can help them out with that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there are a lot of benefits to seasonal work, and, you know, a lot of people think, well, it's almost Thanksgiving and, you know, it's too late. You know, people have hired their seasonal help by now, and it isn't. It really isn't too late. And I thought, you know, it would be a great time to talk about some of the benefits of taking that extra work. Of course, we all think about the obvious benefit, making some extra money. If you're working or if you're not working, it's a great way to, you know, earn a paycheck, even if it's just temporarily. Also, if you are working and maybe you just want to earn a little extra cash for Christmas, that's a great way to do it. A lot of times, seasonal work is flexible in terms of the schedule. There are a lot of organizations out there offering either full or part-time work and can schedule that work around school schedules or other work schedules. So it's a great way to do it at your convenience almost.
Okay, so you start with the obvious. Again, that's money. But you're saying there are other benefits to getting this seasonal work.
There are. First of all, if you're working, it looks better on a resume than if you're not working, of course. So it certainly does look better on your resume to have taken on some extra work during a period of time that you weren't working, or even if you're working and you took that extra work on for some extra holiday money. It shows that you're driven and that you're flexible. So that's also another benefit. And another benefit is just networking and meeting new people. You'll meet lots of new people if you do some, you know, part-time holiday work, and you can establish some great relationships that way, and you should keep in touch with those people. Obviously, if you're doing a good job, you're going to stand out. They're going to remember you. It's a great way not just to make new friends, but people that can be helpful in your job search, either now or in the future. The other thing in terms of meeting people is if you have a hard time providing references because maybe you worked somewhere and it's closed and you didn't keep in touch with people, this is a great way to gather references for your job search as well.
Now, is it good, I'm going to go off topic just a little bit, when you talk about references, is it good to have bosses and or those people that you've trained in the past?
You know, if you're working seasonal and it's temporary and you've done a good job, get your boss. It's always good to have a supervisor as a reference because a supervisor can really speak to things like your dependability, the quality of your work, your drive, your motivation, things like that. And that's what you want. So if you can get a boss, a supervisor as a reference, I strongly recommend that.
So talk about how this could possibly turn into a permanent position. I mean, some of us are looking for it, some of us aren't, so you just never know what's going to happen in life. But how does that happen?
Sure. Well, a lot of times we see, and especially in retail, you know, retail is certainly the obvious, but a lot of times organizations that hire because of seasonal spikes in business end up looking at a few of those seasonal employees as potential permanent employees. They may be ramping up for the holiday season, but depending on how business continues to go, a lot of times organizations will use their seasonal workforce as a way to conduct working interviews with these people. So, you know, I think it's important to understand that if you do take some seasonal work, treat it like it's a real job and give it your best effort. You know, show up on time, make sure you're doing a good job, do what you're asked to do. If the opportunity presents and you can do it, accept, additional hours. A lot of times you find out somebody reported off, or, there are more customers than we expected. Can you stay a few extra hours? If you can do it, it's a great way to show that you've got some drive and some motivation. So a lot of times companies will choose, one or a few employees to potentially keep after the busy season is over. And this is a great way to show that you're bringing value to the table and worth a look.
And this seems like a great idea as well, because if you're a person that doesn't know if they're going to like a job, or maybe you get into the job thinking that you're going to love it, and then you hate it, at least there's like a way out, if you will, because it's not going to be a permanent job.
Absolutely. We call that try before you buy. This is a great way. If you've been wondering, if you'd like a certain type of work, or if you'd like to know what a certain company is like to work for, if they're hiring seasonally, this is a great way to get in there and try the job without committing long term. So, absolutely.
So talk about if we're in between jobs, or maybe we just want to try something new, or, because I guess, during those times of our lives, sometimes when you get into a new job, it can be intimidating because you're going into a job that you don't know the skills.
Sure. And a lot of times this is a way to learn new skills, or even brush up on skills that you haven't used in a while. So obviously when companies are hiring for seasonal ramp-ups, they realize there's going to be some training involved. So, but you're absolutely right. This is a great way to learn new skills. It's funny. I have a funny story about that. A few years ago, I'm a cyclist, and I decided to take a part-time job at a bike shop over the holidays. And for a few reasons. A, I wanted to make a little extra money. And B, I wanted to buy a bike, and of course there's always the employee discount that you have to take into consideration. And, unexpectedly, there was a third benefit, actually 4 or 5 benefits, but a benefit that I didn't even think of before I started was that I learned how to fix my own bike. Just by looking at the guys who were wrenching on bikes, I learned how to fix a bike chain. So I was out riding my bike one day, and the chain actually broke, and I was able to fix it. So that was kind of a benefit. But then, the other benefit, too, was that I met a lot of people, again, going back to that kind of networking, but a lot of customers who came in, and I worked with them in choosing, a bike for their kids. We ended up, I ended up making some friends, but also I ended up meeting people who eventually became clients in my business. So again, just, going back to the benefit of getting out there and meeting people.
When you talk about the employee benefit, explain that a little bit. I know it's self-explanatory, but can benefits be just monetarily? Can it be discounts in the product? I mean, what can all be under that umbrella of employee benefits and discounts?
Sure. Well, a lot of times, if you're looking for seasonal part-time work, unfortunately there aren't, medical benefits provided. But when we talk about benefits in terms of monetary benefits, there's, of course, the paycheck, but also that employee discount. If you're working retail, most retailers offer an employee discount, and that's very valuable. I worked retail for a while, and you're earning a little bit of extra money, plus you're getting the discount. So it's a great way to get your holiday shopping done and get some great discounts. I think it's important to note, though, as we're talking about using the employee discount, to not to abuse the employee discount, especially if you're looking at potentially being considered for a permanent position, or if you're looking to gather references for an upcoming job search. If you're working somewhere that offers an employee discount, it's fine to do your Christmas shopping there, but I would really hesitate to take orders from all of your friends and relatives and do their Christmas shopping as well. You just don't want to abuse that discount. So, but it is a great benefit.
I want to talk about the different types of work that we could get, because if people are like me, I think, yeah, that'd be great, but I don't know where to go. But before I get there, talk about specialized staffing itself and what you do, and then how you can help get people temporary jobs during the season.
Sure. Well, Retail isn't the only industry that ramps up for the holidays. There are also other fields and industries that see spikes in business. So, a staffing firm, my firm specifically Specialized, we work with mainly corporate offices, and we work in the fields of accounting, finance, human resources, administration. We work with a lot of manufacturing companies when it comes to engineering and production management. So staffing firms in general can help with seasonal work because there are companies and organizations that see spikes in business, warehouses that work with delivering packages and logistics and things like that, see an uptick in business. So staffing in general is always a good way to obtain seasonal work or temporary work. Most of that has to do with office work. But getting back to the holiday season, a lot of types of industries also see those spikes. So you look at retail, that's kind of obvious, and in retail, a lot of times you see an increase in hiring in the fields of security, loss prevention, you see more greeters, you see gift wrappers. Those are the types of positions in addition to just your general customer service, cashiers, stock. Those are the types of positions that you can expect to find in retail right now. But also mail order warehouses experience ramp-ups at this time. The post office, obviously, anything having to do with deliveries, packaging, moving packages. But then some other fields that you might not think of, beauty shops. You think about everybody's getting all pretty for the holidays, so beauty shops often hire additional reception help during the holidays. Grocery stores. Grocery stores get very, very busy this time of year, so they typically look for seasonal help as well, bagging, stocking, cashiers, things like that. Hospitality. You think about all those people out there shopping and, are hungry, so they're going to stop somewhere to get something to eat or to get a cup of coffee. So those types of restaurants and eateries often see an increase in a need for help over the holidays. Hotels. A lot of people visiting from out of town for the holidays, so hotels ramp up in their hiring as well. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of choice out there in terms of seasonal holiday help. Now, one thing that you might not think of is accounting, and this is a field that we do work in. There are a lot of CPAs out there who, while we're all enjoying our turkey and our Christmas, they're starting to get ready for tax season. And oftentimes they will be looking at bringing on additional seasonal help, clerical help, data entry, that sort of thing, receptionists.
See, and I always think of accounting starting, if you will, in January, but does it start now?
No, they typically do start in January, but they start looking now.
That's true, because I have a CPA friend, and she disappears for like 3 months once it hits January, because that's just all she does. And so where can you help out in an accounting office?
In terms of the types of positions?
Normally
it's clerical help, because you do have to have some sort of an education to actually go in and do the taxes and prepare the taxes. So accountants in general are in high demand, this time of year and into the first quarter of next year. But also clerical help, a receptionist, somebody to answer the phones, because of course they're seeing a spike in customers, incoming, calls and visitors. Also, data entry, a lot of information being input into computers at this time. Not at this time, but in January. And again, a lot of times they start looking now. So those are the types of things you can expect to see in a CPA firm.
So tell me about the search for these jobs, for seasonal jobs, because I know we've all searched at one time, and now that we're all living on computers, if you will, we all seem to turn to the computer first. And it just seems like there are so many websites out there that have jobs. Are we missing by going to just a couple of our favorites, or is there one central one with specialized staffing that helps us out?
What's funny, yeah, actually there are a lot of different resources. Of course, we all think about looking at the paper to see what ads are in the paper, but you're right, there are a lot of online resources, Career Builder, CareerLink, Craigslist, Indeed, Monster, PittsburghJobs.com. There are so many I could, go on and on, but there is a site, there is a resource that is accessible online, and it's MySpecializedCareer.com. That's one big long word, www.MySpecializedCareer.com. And on this site, our number one goal in this site is to help job seekers land the right job. So you're right, there are endless sites and job boards on the internet. You can spend hours reviewing hundreds of postings. And if you go onto that site and you register on that portal, you'll see that there are resources there where you can conduct one targeted search based on your criteria of all of those sites at once through that portal. So it does save you the time of logging in and out of all of those different sites.
Now, is that something that's specific with specialized staffing? And the reason I ask that is because when we were talking about what specialized staffing does, you listed a few industries that you focus in. Mm-hmm. So would this website go beyond that, or does it stay within the realms that you deal with?
Actually, yes, this website goes beyond that. You can search any types of jobs on this website. We work with clients who are looking for individuals to fill specific positions, and we interview lots and lots of people, and we talk to lots of people, and of course, we can't help everybody. Not everybody is going to get hired. So this is a resource for anybody who's looking for a job, whether or not they're looking for jobs through specialized staffing and industry recruiters, or whether they're just looking for a job in general. MySpecializedCareer.com is a resource that we offer to any job seeker, no matter what type of job that they're looking for. So, the resources on this site, in addition to being able to search the different job boards at once, there are other resources, such as information on what to include in a resume, how to address problems on your resume, gaps in employment, which resume format would be most effective for your particular scenario. You might be looking for a different career, you might be looking to get back into the workforce after a gap, you might be looking to advance in the field that you're currently in and you're still working. There are lots of different scenarios, and as you and I have talked about in the past, there are different resume formats that would be more effective depending on that scenario. So this site will help you determine what type of resume and what to put in your resume and where to put it. Also, other things. There are videos there, educational videos on how to effectively prepare for interviews, even, how to schedule interviews, how to conduct the interview, how to audition versus interview. And that's probably a great topic for you and I to discuss in a future show is, you're auditioning, not just interviewing, you're auditioning for this position. So, and also proper follow-up techniques, how to negotiate, lots and lots of resources on this site. In addition to, there's also a resume wizard. It's a template, and that will walk you through putting together your resume. You'll take your information that's specific to you, put it into the system, and it will actually create the resume for you. So that's a great resource, and it's free. The other thing is, if you're not sure which career field is right for you, there is a free career assessment there that will help you identify, the types of careers in which you can best utilize your interests, your skills, your education, taking all of those things into consideration. And that's free. There are also a lot of other tools and resources that you can take a look at and, take advantage of, but they're all free. So MySpecializedCareer.com is a resource for any job seeker, not just a job seeker that specializes in the fields that we work with.
We're talking with Lisa Gard with Specialized Staffing, of course, their location in Butler, right downtown. And Lisa, if somebody would rather deal with an individual in person instead of go online, that's where you come into play, don't you?
Sure, absolutely. We're located right on Main Street, as you said, in downtown Butler. The address is 130 South Main Street. And we have a great new landmark right now. We're right across from the brand new Rite Aid that's going up.
And you can't miss that.
No, you cannot. Also, you can give us a call to schedule an appointment, and that phone number is 724-287-8380.
And can you talk about Headhunters? And I know we're getting away a little bit from seasonal employment. We'll come back to that here in just a moment. But
Sure.
When we talk to you, and you've explained this in the past, I'd love for you to touch on this now, because what if people are looking for a career that starts after the holidays? So if they're getting prepared for that, what's the benefit of working with a headhunter?
Mm-hmm. Especially if somebody is currently working. You are very busy. You're working 8 to 10 hours a day. You've got your family. It's the holiday season, so you're running around. And the nice thing about working with a recruiter, a professional recruiter, is that you meet with a recruiter once, and you go through a process of discussing your background, your experience, your skills. What are the things that you're looking for moving forward in terms of your next career move? Any assessments that are required in terms of skills, we get all of that out of the way. We reach out to references. We know what references are saying, and we get you completely prepared for the job search. But the nice thing is you're not having to do a lot once you meet with us. The meeting is a one-time thing. So after that, any opportunities that come in from our clients that match what you've told us you're looking for, we would just reach out to you with and discuss that with you, decide if it's a position that you would have an interest in, and then get you an audience with our client. And of course, we work with you throughout the whole process. It's great that you can come in here and you can meet with us and we can call you and tell you that we have this great job. Do you want to interview for it? And then you're not just on your own after that. Once you interview, we'll work with you throughout the whole process to talk to you about how the interview went with the client, what your interest level is in the opportunity moving forward. We'll be able to arrange, subsequent interviews. We'll be able to talk to you about what to expect in terms of negotiating salary based on what you bring to the table, and even go as far as to help you quit your job if you're offered, a job that you want to take. Quitting a job is traumatic to some people. Quitting a job isn't easy, and so we can help you through that process as well in terms of what to expect, how to do that properly, not burn bridges, and move forward.
So some people are listening to this and saying, well, that's fabulous. How much is that going to cost me?
Oh, my gosh, what a great question, Tracy. It's free. Actually, we do not charge our candidates a fee ever for anything. Our clients, the customers who pay our fee, are companies that we work with. So I'm really glad you asked that. It's interesting to me. We conducted a survey a few years back of potential candidates, and we asked what were the barriers that they had working with recruiters, and fee was one of the top rated barriers. And I thought, oh my gosh, we don't charge a fee. I'm so glad we did that survey. We need to communicate that. We don't charge a fee to candidates at all.
So let's get back to the seasonal employment for just a moment. But actually, before we jump back into that, what's your contact information, again, in case we would like to work with you throughout the season to get a career after the holidays are done?
Sure thing. And this is the time to start looking at that. If your New Year's resolution is a new job, this is the time to start to prepare for that. You can contact us via phone at 724-287-8380. You can access our company website where you can see a list of our current opportunities. You can also look at what our process is like, and additionally, you can access that career portal. But our website is www.specializedstaffinginc.com.
Lisa Garb with Specialized Staffing, of course, right downtown in Butler. So if you have a question, get in contact with them. If you'd like to meet with them, again, get in contact with them, and they can take you from there. With only a couple of minutes left, I just want to ask you again to remind us of the importance of the seasonal work, because I know it feels like we're halfway through the season, but really there's plenty of time left.
plenty of season left. And, some of the benefits of taking on seasonal work, as we discussed, the number one obvious reason is to make some money, earn a paycheck, make some extra money. Also, it looks good on your resume to be working versus not working. Networking opportunities, meeting new people, gathering references for your job search moving forward. Opportunities that you're working through the Christmas season could certainly turn permanent. It's a good way to get back into the workforce if you've been out of the workforce, or to try before you buy in terms of a type of position or a company that you might want to work for. This is a great way to try it out, see if you like it. And additionally, just a great way to learn new skills or brush up on skills that you haven't used in a while. And then lastly, another very obvious benefit is if it's retail, you get that great employee discount.
Now, Lisa, does it ever look bad to be a constant temp? Because if that's what you want to do, if that's what you like to do, it would show that on a resume. But then if you want a full-time permanent job, it could look like that you're job hopping.
There are people who want to work temporary for a reason. And it's interesting, a lot of times we get people who want to work temporary because they can pick and choose the assignments they want to accept. So it's not a bad thing when we call and say, hey, we've got this assignment, it's going to last this long, and you say, no, I'm not interested in that. That's fine. So you can kind of pick and choose when you want to work. We had for a long time a receptionist who everybody loved her, and she wanted to work temporary because her husband had a great job where he got to travel internationally, and he went to some really great places, and she wanted to be able to go with him. So she was able to accept assignments when she was here and turn down assignments when she wasn't going to be here. So there are definitely benefits to doing that. And you can always present that on your resume, and you can present that in an interview. You chose to do contract work for a reason, and as long as that reason makes sense, there's not a problem.
Yeah, because it seems like if you're not trying to dance around the true reason, then somebody's going to be able to know that.
Absolutely. And oftentimes, too, we all went through that recession a few years ago, and when companies are bouncing back from recession, oftentimes they hire contract staff because they can't hire permanently because they're not quite sure that need is going to continue. And as the economy continues to pick back up, they keep these people. So oftentimes it does make sense. When I'm looking at a resume and I see somebody who's doing contract work, I never discount them, and neither do our clients. Those are things that do make sense.
There are needs on both sides, and you can see them both. You're an expert at this. You do this all the time. Lisa Gard with Specialized Staffing, again with your contact information.
Sure. It's specializedstaffinginc.com is the website, and 724-287-8380 is the phone number.
Lisa, thanks so much.
Thank you, Tracy. Always a pleasure.
And folks, again, thank you for joining us for this half hour of Let's Talk. Of course, we'll be back again another day with another segment. For now, I'm Tracy Morgan.